Alrighty, so we built this run stand and we were testing out this 305 that had a rod knock, and it was surprisingly clean inside and we couldn't figure out what was wrong with it until we pulled the pan off and found the pickup sitting in the pan with a bunch of bearing material. So there we are with that. Here, do it again.
Oh my lord.
Yeah, so there's the noise we were hearing.
There's nothing.
No, I don't think there's a bearing in there anymore.
What size are those? Probably 9/16.
I believe they're 9/16. Is there even bearing in there?
It broke that thing off and that's it.
Huh. But where?
Yeah, here it is. What's left of it.
Oh, it's still stuck up there.
No, if I could get let me get a rubber mallet and I'll tap it.
Alrighty. Well, we got them out.
No.
Now?
Look at the difference. That's where our bearing is.
Oh, yeah.
It's eaten like an eighth of an inch. Maybe more than that.
Nice.
Yeah, we needed oversized bearing. Like 60 thousandths oversized.
It's interesting because it's rough, don't get me wrong, but it's not as bad as expected. It's just...
No, it's like it machined it off almost.
Yeah. Man, I wonder if that's the only one that spun. All the other ones felt tight. But that could just be tight from bearings on top of each other. Interesting.
Well, it seems like that's the only one that literally ate itself.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. No, this is a bigger problem.
Which one?
Look at this one. Look where the seam is. The seam shouldn't be. The seam should be here. The seam is there. That one spun too. See? Look how much slop is there. That one's ruined also. It's just.
But it definitely
that one was worse.
But that was the only one we could hear, really. I didn't hear any other ones.
I'm sure it's because that one was the only one we could hear because it was so loud.
So loud. Yeah.
We couldn't hear any of the other ones. I'd be willing to bet every one of these would be damaged to the point of total ruination.
Yeah.
Is ruination a word?
I don't know. Well, let's see what we can do then, I guess. Alright, current plan is out the window. We're going to try and maybe use these bearings and some other things to shim the new bearings. Because there is the gap. It's pretty impressive.
Dun dun dun. Very nice.
All polished. Right, not very proud of this, but being that this is a 86 305 and not really worth anything, and obviously very torn up, we just need it to run long enough to test the run stand, so we're going to take the old bearings, put them in a set of new bearings, and then maybe that'll take up the 80,000 clearance.
That's how the machine shop told us to do it.
Yes, the Ford forum told us just to stack the rod bearings. Let me put my assembly lube on here. I don't want to half-ass this.
Can I have a screw? You give me that screw.
Alright, video log.
It's called a vlog, Trevor.
I can call it whatever I damn well please. Anyways.
Alright, Mr. Arkansas.
Yeah.
Wait, no,
that was you who said Arkansas.
Yeah.
So the pickup fell off the oil pump, and it would appear that somebody tried to use a old pickup with a new pump or something like that, because it was no longer a press fit. It just pretty much, you could shove it in there and pull it out and it wasn't a big deal. And it also has a newer rubber gasket with orange RTV, so somebody has definitely been in there and they, I guess, didn't do it right because it no longer had the press fit, which is why it fell out. We're going to clean up that gas spill and then call it an evening.
got the alternator running
So we gotta
the
cut.
electronics.
We gotta cut power to the alternator too.
Yes.
That looks. Wow, that is. I don't think that's supposed to do that.
No. No, it isn't.
That is
Terrifying.
interesting.
That is a clogged cat.
That's a something.
Woo.
It's weird because standing over here, it's a lot quieter. That side where you're standing is where it does the Camaro droning thing. So
the
interesting.
so we gotta so the wiring wasn't flawless then. That sucks.
It's close enough. Alrighty, so what happened when we couldn't get the motor to shut off is here is our energizing wire. This is the wire that energizes the alternator initially and gets it going. And I'm not sure how exactly it's supposed to work here. In the 68, it works where in this wire there's the warning light, but once you start the truck, then the light turns off and it cuts power to this. So either something in the alternator is not cutting power to it or something, or it's still drawing power. I don't know what's going on, but basically what we determined is it was back feeding current through their green wire and then back into our fuse block, and thus keeping everything running despite the fact that we could turn the master switch off, unhook the battery, and it would keep going. So I'm guessing, being that this is how the internet said to hook it up, I'm guessing that this wire is supposed to have a diode in it to keep the current from going back towards the fuse block. Because if it had a diode in it and current could only go this way, then it would be fine. We couldn't find anything like that, so what we did is we just wired up another push button here right next to it, so it's kind of, correlated. You can see that. And that will, so you'll start it, it'll be discharging, and then you'll bump the switch, and it'll get it going. And then it won't backfeed, and whenever you actually shut the switch off, then the whole thing will turn off. So, with that problem out of the way, what I'm currently doing now is rigging up the exhaust a little bit better. That cat was the one that was actually over here. I cut out the one that was just glowing for whatever reason. Something was definitely wrong with that one. And then I'm going to weld this one up because this joint here, actually has all the bolts in it, and so it should hopefully seal pretty good. And then where that hole is, I'm going to weld on the bung for the O2, and then that will be where the O2 deal will go. So there is all of that. Alright, I had to recalibrate the O2 gauge, and that was really the only issue we have other than the fan vibrating a whole bunch, so we're going to try and mount that a little looser so it won't shake the table so much. But it ran cool, all the gauges are working, it's not it's not quiet, but it's nowhere near as loud as it would be without the exhaust, so that's all working good. Our gas leak seems to have mostly gone away, which is nice. So there we go, ready for break-in.